Hello, welcome back to the newsroom. It's time now for our international press review, and I'm joined now by Chris Moore. Chris, I imagine the papers are full of this Iran report today.
As you'd expect, Richard, yes, the international press very much dominated by this Iran nuclear report, not least in Iran itself. If we take a look at the English language daily, the Tehran Times, their headline, US intelligence report clears Iran nuclear program, that obviously reflecting the sense of vindication, really, in Iran over this report. And there's another headline in the Tehran Times, Putin assures Iran on completing Bushehr plant on time. Now, that's in reference to a meeting which took place in Moscow just after this report came out between a senior Iranian nuclear representative and Vladimir Putin. Putin's been very reassuring there that the civilian nuclear program that they're helping to build will go ahead. The message from Iran very much to the Americans is really, you can worry all you want about us getting a nuclear weapon. We've got a civilian program and it's carrying on. Cayenne News, the pro-regime daily in Tehran, has a picture of a burning US flag, obviously reflecting growing anti-US sentiment there. The international Arab paper Al Hayat, now they have an editorial reporting on a rift in the Bush administration. They say this has caused tension between pragmatists who advocate, sanctions and diplomacy over this whole matter, and hawks who say that this report is really all about the intelligence services trying to appease the Democrats with an eye on a potential future Democrat president in a year or so's time in the United States. Sharq el-Awsat reports shocks White House. They also reflect on the timing of this report. How much did the Democrats try to influence it, and what were the intelligence services doing? Were they trying to assert their independence over it? Finally, on this story, a very different reaction, as you'd expect, in the centre-right Israeli daily, the Jerusalem Post. Now, they have an interview with Avigdor Lieberman, the strategic affairs minister in Israel. He says Tehran has clearly succeeded in hiding nuclear weapons from or nuclear programs, I should say, from the United States. And the report is irrelevant. Sanctions must continue. And he warns that Iran could have nuclear capacity, military nuclear capacity in 1 or 2 years' time.
Some interesting perspectives there from the Middle East. What else have you got for us?
Racism in East Germany, a subject which often rears its head in the European press. There's a report here in the German paper Die Zeit. This follows an alleged attack on a pregnant Iraqi woman on a bus in the East German city of Magdeburg. I say an alleged attack because although she and her sister, who was on the bus with her, say she was attacked by some middle-aged German men with their families, nobody on the bus will back them up on this. And Die Zeit said this is an example of the kind of passive racism that existed in East Germany. We often hear a lot about, the rise of neo-Nazism there, but we don't hear so much about people, if you like, turning a blind eye to these more violent racists.
Okay, we've just got a minute left. A fascinating story from the UK.
Yes, it's become known as the Canoe Man story, Richard. Now, Canoe Man, as he's known, is a 57-year-old called John Darwin, who was presumed dead after a canoe accident in 2002. But lo and behold, a few days ago, he turned up larger than life in a London police station, claiming to have lost his memory. Hence the headline in the Daily Mirror, wife and sons of memory lost Canoe Man delighted he's back. But it's not as simple as that. If you look in The Sun, their headline, and one which is quite unforgettable really, is Dead Canoeist Arrested in Raid. Now, they reveal that the canoeist in question was heavily indebted at the time of his disappearance. Moreover, his wife mysteriously emigrated to Panama just 6 weeks ago, and the Sun have managed to make contact with her over there and suggested that she may have cashed in his life insurance policy before doing so. Another allegation from the Sun is that he's been living with a woman in America during this time, and when he turned up at the police station in London, he had a very good suntan for a Brit in winter.
Sounds fishy to me, a suntan, a British suntan in winter. Well, thanks very much, Chris. That was great. We'll do stay with us here on France 24. There's much more still to come.
Chinese steelmakers mull a bold bid for BHP Billiton. eBay returns to Japan with new tactics. And gold shines ever brighter in Asia. Those are this morning's headlines from the Asia Pacific. But first to the markets. And in New York last night, the Dow Jones dropped 65 points to 13,248. The Nasdaq down 17 points to 2,619. And here in Tokyo this morning, the Nikkei started with an early fall. The scramble for control of the world's dwindling resources gets rougher. A group of Chinese steelmakers is studying a bid for Rio Tinto. Rio is the world's third largest mining company. It's already the target of a €90 billion takeover bid from number one BHP Billiton. China's biggest steelmaker Baosteel is reportedly leading the study. It wants to block BHP from grabbing control of Asia's metals market. Chinese companies are scouring the globe in their hunt for resources. They've invested billions of euros in Africa, South America and Australia to fuel their booming economy back home. However, analysts warn that the newly elected Labour government in Canberra may block any Chinese bid, wanting to keep both Rio and BHP Australian. 5 years after giving up on Japan, eBay is back. The world's biggest online auctioneer launched a website with Yahoo Japan as part of its latest attempt to expand in Asia. Under the deal, Yahoo Japan's customers will be able to bid on goods from eBay in America, and eBay's customers will have access to Yahoo auctions in Japan. Financial details weren't released, but the collaboration is a change of tactics for eBay, which ceded the Japanese market to Yahoo Japan back in 2002. eBay this year made a similar alliance with China's Tom.com after earlier shuttering its own China site. Under its latest deal, Japanese manga comics in particular are expected to be hot sellers across the Pacific. As China's economy sparkles, so do the fingers of its new rich. Demand for gold jewelry jumped 20% this year. That's on top of a 24% surge last year, with demand for gold hitting 221 tons, compared to just 165 tons in the United States. The world's biggest market for gold jewelry remains India, which last year gobbled up 515 tons. Last month, these two Asian giants helped push gold to $845 an ounce. That's the highest price in 27 years. But patterns of demand in Asia are changing. Chinese wages are growing faster than those in India, and in general, the Chinese save more. The Beijing Olympics may be months away, but already the Chinese look to be dripping in gold.